This is the WHTC Morning News with Gary Stevens and Peg McNichol on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
We welcome you back to the WHTC Morning News for this Friday, July 23rd. Friday mornings at this time, we travel Michigan with Dave Lorenz of Pure Michigan. He joins us via the Zoom connection. Dave, good morning, and kind of wet, but then again, you know, sometimes we need a little rain to make sure things are growing well, and we have a Pure Michigan because it does wash things out.
Absolutely true. And as I've been driving around, Gary, have you noticed how good the corn looks? And that's because we finally started to get some rain after that big dry spell. And I'll take rain over, I'll take it over humidity any day.
I did see the corn. We were doing some driving south of Jenison yesterday, and yeah, it definitely more than knee high by the 4th of July. Looks like a bumper crop coming in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. And man, there's nothing that says summer to me more so than sweet corn. So I'm looking forward to that bumper crop coming out pretty soon. I'm also really happy to report that the Pure Michigan 15th anniversary posters are selling well. And that's a good thing, not only because it allows people to show their pride in Pure Michigan and to celebrate with us that the Pure Michigan brand has done well for 15 years. But a portion of the proceeds from these sales goes to an organization I really care about. It's called Michigan Cares for Tourism. It's an organization that came together, the brainchild of Grand Valley State University, the DNR, our office, and a couple of other organizations. And what we do every year, last year we didn't because of COVID, but what we've been doing for years is we invite the travel industry to come and volunteer their time at least once a year to clean up a site. It's almost always at a state park. Sometimes it's something as simple as like cleaning a major beach. We bring in a couple hundred people for these events. And here's the thing, Gary, they all pay to attend. They all pay to do this. And then the money goes into the cleanup project. So we've done really well. It's a great way for the industry to give back to the state they love so much in a different way. And it brings us together. And especially now, after what we've all been through this last year, I can't wait for our next Michigan Cares tourism program. So if you're interested in checking out those posters made by a really talented Ann Arbor artist in partnership with an organization called the Mighty Mitten, just go to michigan.org and scroll down and you'll see more. They're really cool. They feature mostly national parks, but a Michigan State Park, the Porkies as well. So I think you're going to really love it.
Yes, it was. I had a chance to look at the graphic of all the prints, and it is very, very nice. I hate to do this, Dave, but let's play what if.
Okay.
The Olympics are starting today in Tokyo. It's back in Tokyo for the first time since 1964. And doing a little research on the Tokyo Olympics of 1964. In 59, they were awarded the games. Went pretty much a good-sized vote got them the games. Guess who was second that year in
was
the
it
balloting?
China? Yeah.
No.
Was that China?
No. Guess who?
I don't remember.
What city finished second in 1959 for the 64 games?
I can't imagine. It wasn't Detroit, was it?
Yep.
Was
Detroit.
it really? Wow. Interesting. Yeah. Well,
what could have been if the Olympics did come to Detroit in 64? How things might have changed a little bit.
Well, as much as I'm a sports fan, you know that, and I'm loving my Detroit Tigers right now, 7 games in a row. But there's a big plus and a big potential minus with the Olympics. If your community isn't one that can absorb these big facilities that are necessary to host the Olympics, because the Olympics is a different game altogether. It's so massively big. You look at Munich, for instance, and the facilities they put together for the Munich Games years ago. They're not necessarily at peak condition because what do you do with them the rest of the time? So unless you build out the infrastructure so that it suits the needs for that massive buildup for that one event, and then can be utilized by the community in a efficient way, it can be a real challenge. So you really have to have, I think, a massive city like LA, for instance, or one like was it Park City, Utah, right? Their Olympic facility is mostly on one mountainside, and they do use it as a tourism attraction. But frankly, you can't say it's fully utilized. So, hey, as much as I'd like to see it somewhere in the region, like maybe Chicago or Detroit, I'm okay that that's not as well. I'd rather see us, as we're currently doing, encourage other smaller sports events. So we helped to put together an organization called Pure Michigan Sports years ago. And this is an organization made up of the sports commissions from around the state. Holland community is part of this, in fact, because of the wonderful aquatic center in Holland. And so what we do is we go to these various annual meetings, and we try to attract sporting events like basketball and baseball and softball and swimming, and all the way down to things like darts. So you never know. I'd rather do that. I think it's much more efficient, much more economical, and it doesn't overwhelm a community either with all those people.
By the way, we were told yesterday by Linda Hart of the Holland Area Visitors Bureau, no vacancy signs are up in the Holland area because there is a swimming meet at the Holland Community Aquatic Center with about 200 swimmers participating, plus a softball tournament with 20 teams participating.
It's a great example. That's a way that we can help to bring people often who have never been to town before. And so think about this. These are young people. They're still quite often looking at their future and considering what they might do in the future. Can you imagine what might happen with some of these people who might want to eventually move here, maybe bring a business here as they grow and prosper and figure out their lives and their career paths come together? That's what travel does. It introduces you to new places, maybe gives you some new ideas on how you can be part of that community and be part of the solution rather than what can be often part of the problem with these mega events. It can be very difficult.
I saw something on the Science Channel's Mysteries of the Abandoned about what happened with the 1984 Winter Olympic site of Sarajevo, all potted out because of the Yugoslavian Civil War.
Yeah, that's a totally different situation, and that's sad all around. But so it's really good to see that these really good things are happening. I should also remind you that the concert series, speaking of good things, continues tonight at Collin Park, and we're seeing more and more events pop up all over the state. Really fun things like the Van Gogh exhibit in Detroit, and for instance, the Marshall Bluegrass Festival is this weekend. The Bluegrass event happening as well. The Balloon Fest happening as well. So, man, I'm just happy we're back and going to places like Jackson and Marshall and of course, like Holland. So good news is right here.
Indeed it is. And Dave Lorenz joins us to tell us about what we are doing in our state travel-wise. He's with Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org. And like Pure Michigan on Facebook, you'll be able to keep up with all that is going on in tourism in our area. Dave, as always, thank you very much. Wish you and the family well. And if all goes well, we'll do this again next Friday. And I believe a little event's going on in Grand Haven beginning next weekend.
Pretty soon. You're right. Guess who gets to announce the parade again? I can't wait.
It should be a lot of fun. Dave Lorenz, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much, Dave Lorenz. It's our Travel Michigan segment with Dave Lorenz of Pure Michigan on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.